Welcome to the fiscal court meeting here for February the 10th, 2026. Thank you. We want to please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, we thank you especially for the sunshine and warmth today. Amen. Thank you for all the blessings we have as individuals and as a community, and especially for those we forget to say thank you for often. Please be with our community in whatever way that our community needs them, and individuals who need health, their mental health, physical health, housing, and job and employment. We ask you to be with those who are in need of those things. And especially, we ask you to be with all of our first responders, those who are serving our community in public works and the military, all those who put their lives on the line every day in service to others. We ask you to be with us as we work on behalf of the citizens of Kenton County this evening, that everything we say is pleasing to your will. In your Son, Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I wish more meetings started this way. Well, let's see. First off, we have our citizens' address. We have Mr. Evans would like to address the court. Mr. Randy Evans, yes, sir. Yeah, welcome.
Good evening.
Sure.
This is my first time, so.
Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Anyway, my name's Randy Evans, and I happened to catch the news here a couple weeks ago that somebody was, I don't know what body it was at, something in Kenton County or Covington, that urged them not to follow and work with ICE. Well, I decided to come and speak my piece. I feel that y'all should follow ICE, you should follow the Constitution, you should follow the law. Because if any state or local government doesn't follow federal law, then when they come to apply it to us, we're going to tell you, go away. And I'm a Trump supporter. I follow Charlie Kirk. I'm MAGA. And I love my country, and I love the Constitution of the United States. And I decided to come and speak because I'm tired of hearing all this crap and all this stuff going on in this country. And it's going to have to stop because us normal, law-abiding, everyday going to work citizens are getting tired of it. And it needs to stop. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Aaron Anderson would like to address the court. Mr. Anderson?
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I'd like to begin by thanking you for allowing the citizens of the county to voice our concerns to you. It helps the community to know that our elected leaders are listening. Not counting the time I've spent away in the military, I've been a resident of Northern Kentucky for basically my entire life. I've spent the last 15 years as a resident of Kenton County. I've seen the progress and shortfalls of the area, and I've lived through them. Never before have I felt compelled to attend a meeting to voice my concerns, but recent events have changed that. I, of course, am here to discuss the 287G agreement. I'm not here to tug at your heartstrings by knowingly giving you half stories or to discuss things that are happening across the country while purposefully leaving out important details, hoping that you live on social media like most of the people who've talked with you. I'm simply here to tell you that you need to continue the agreement. People keep talking about how they want our police to protect and serve us. They do exactly that by enforcing the law, which we all know is the actual job of the police force. Sob stories aside, the law is the law. The vocal minority that has been showing up does not speak for most of the community. Thousands of local registered Republicans of the area are happy with our police force, happy with the agreement, and happy our legislation is being enforced. I hope to reflect their voices here today. Please continue the agreement as it continues to make our county and our country safer. Thank you for your time, and God bless the Commonwealth.
Thank you. Mr. Staverman.
Good evening. Today I want to first thank our commissioners for going on the record 2 weeks ago with the Cincinnati Enquirer. I appreciate it. And I also want to thank Jailer Fields for opening up a dialogue and giving members of our group the opportunity to tour the Kenton County Detention Center later this week. Without dialogue and without openness to share information, this county would be unable to move forward and grow. Your actions are providing elected leadership proving elected leadership is reading the room and recognizing your responsibility to the public. Thank you to all of you. I do want to ask that the specific issue of 287G is addressed by this court directly. All statements to the Enquirer seem to be focused on the intergovernmental service agreements to house detainees in county lockup, not on 287G or its effect on our community's trust with law enforcement. This court's position on 287G remains unclear in my eyes, and I would appreciate attention to this item in the future. While that dialogue continues, I do want to stress that oversight is a basic function of this court. And as of yet, no oversight has been attempted. There's nothing on the agenda today. I hope that will change in the future. Our group will do what we can to assess the conditions within the detention center with the time allotted to us. We will ask challenging questions to Mr. Field and his team, but this is first and foremost a function of this court. If this court is confident in the soundness of this county's current policies, I ask this court to have the courage to question local law enforcement officers and leaders. Question them as to the conditions within the detention center. Question them as to the status of community relationships with municipal and county law enforcement alike. Question our 911 center, whether calls from the public are up or down, whether calls from neighborhoods with minority communities are up or down. Question the court's legal counsel as to the exposure this county is exposing itself to at the behest of the federal government, which is violating the Constitution every day all over this country. These are the questions this county needs to have answered. If this court is confident, it won't be scared to ask them. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're moving on to general business. We do have an update from BNKY, but Lee is in transit, so we're going to jump over that item to the claims list for February 10th. Kurt?
Yeah, the claims list was sent out last week. I do have one addition to that. The closing for the CCBE property is scheduled for Friday. So I would like to add or ask permission to issue a check when that closing occurs for an amount not to exceed $3,800,000.
Good.
We need a motion for that, to add it?
That's the
Okay.
purchase price, just need to be a
Yeah,
transfer of those
okay.
funds.
Well, I'll motion that we go ahead and add that.
Yeah, and that'll be a payment to the Northern Kentucky Port Authority.
So a motion to amend that claims list,
Yes.
basically?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay,
All right,
thanks.
thank
Kurt.
you.
Claims list can be handled. Resolutions, we have Resolution 26-01C for the court concerning fiscal year budget adjustments. Kurt?
Yep, budget adjustments, we have $15,000 at the county police department. This is just moving money from the salary line to the holiday line, just an oversight during the budget process. Still at the police department, moving $10,000 from police services to uniforms to outfit a few of the new officers we've hired. And then at the fleet department, $100,000 for repair parts coming
And
from
that turns
reserves.
into inventory, right? So that's actually inventory, not just...
Inventory, and then
Yeah.
it'll be charged out to either the
Overtime.
county departments or the cities that we
Yeah.
do the work for.
Okay.
And that's holiday pay, not
Holiday-
holiday.
Holiday pay, sorry, yes, holiday pay.
I know, when I read it the first time, I was like, what are they doing over there now?
Yeah, yes, holiday pay.
Yeah, thank you for the heads up on that, too.
Yeah.
Made sense. I make a motion to approve the adjustments as presented.
Okay.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I need to go back up to approval of the minutes from our meeting of January the 27th. I apologize, I skipped that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We have our Resolution 25-05 regarding the authorization of the Judge Executive to execute the amendment to the Northern Kentucky Special Weapons and Tactical Inc. Interlocal Agreement, the SWAT agreement.
Did we just add cities to that agreement? Was that, or additional?
Updating, I
Yes.
think, all the data in that.
They, you know, I guess Steve could speak directly to it, but they had made a name change that requires an update to this, as well as a couple bylaw changes late last year, and this is just incorporating those changes that have already been approved by the association itself, so.
Okay.
This BNKY?
No, this is for SWAT.
This is
This
for
is for
SWAT
SWAT, for the SWAT team. We're going to come back to BNKY in
Where is
just a
that
little
on?
bit.
It's
Oh,
Yeah,
that's all right.
Six.
That's
It's
okay.
it's Resolution 2605.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other question or comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. There's a ghost in the room. We have also Resolution 26-06. This is renaming the Pioneer Award for Dr. John Dowd Pioneer Award. So that'll be, it's a nice honoring of you,
Oh,
John, and
Thank you for
your ideas, and it'll be there forever.
Yeah, it's my honor to make a motion to approve that. And
And I better-
thank you, John, for always being the encourager in the group and the one that points out that we don't brag about ourselves enough and we don't brag on others enough. It's probably because he was a former educator and loved his kids and wanted to see that they were encouraged by, just making a big deal out of them, and I appreciate that you've encouraged us to do that, and it's proven to be a wonderful opportunity to honor good people in this community.
Are you married, Beth?
I am, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know you are.
Keep moving.
Yeah, 61 years. I'll
And you
second.
love her.
I'll second it. So
You'll
that-
second.
I'll second it. Okay, Beth will make the motion. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks. Congratulations, John.
Thank
Under our consent agenda, we have a number of items. Would you like to address any of them individually or have questions? We have, looks like 14 if my Roman numerals work right.
I'll move we approve the consent.
Okay,
I'll
Agenda.
second it.
motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll let our guest take a moment. Do you have a thing to put on the computer? Sue? Oh, it's already good, okay. So we'll give you a second. Why don't you sit and breathe for a quick second? Well, under executive orders, Order 26-19, this rescinding the Level 1 snow emergency that was issued on January 24th. Order 2620, this is declaring Level 1 on February 3rd. This is Order 2621, rescinding Level 1 on February 3rd. This is also to Order 2622, related to the court approving the appointment. Now, let's go back up. How about we do those three all at once? Can we do that?
You don't have to.
Oh, no, actually, that's
You
why
don't
we
have
don't
to
need to do it. Okay, good. Order 26-22, related to the court approving the appointment of Chad Summey and Dave Knox to the BNKY Board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any question or comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Those two guys really got resumes, don't they?
They do. They're continuing to do more. Order 26-23, related to the court approving the appointment of Mackenzie Moffett as a public safety telecommunicator.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 26-24, related to the court accepting the retirement of Dave Leonard as the Assistant Director of Administrations for the Emergency Communications Department. And I'm sure, is Ashley here tonight? No. So just acknowledging Dave's unbelievable work coming from both Erlanger and then in the combination of that dispatch operation. We'll celebrate him down the road, but Dave has just been an unbelievable member of the team and just done great work for many, many, many years. So we do appreciate that. So we do need to approve his retirement.
I'll make a motion with congratulations to him.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 26-25, related to the court accepting resignation of Michael Whitford as a police officer.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 26-26, approving the appointment of Scott Hardcorn as the Executive Director of the Northern Kentucky Drug Strike Force.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 26-27, related to the court approving the appointment of Morgan Dieterle as a Public Safety Telecommunicator.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Order 26-28, declaring the Level 1 snow emergency on February 6th. And then Order 26-29, rescinding the Level 1 snow emergency on February the 6th. And with that, we're going to go back up to Mr. Lee Croom's update on BNKY. So welcome, sir. Sliding in.
Why does it gotta be me?
We did that on purpose to see if you'd catch it, Lee.
Okay, well, caught it. So thank you. I apologize for being a little bit late. I was sitting at the Covington Courthouse in about 10 minutes checking notes and whatnot. I thought, boy, there should be more cars here at this time of night when I realized I was in the wrong spot. So
And in fact, the other day, you even said, oh, it's in Independence. You did say that to me.
I know, we talked last week, and as soon as I looked at my calendar, I'm like, I know for sure what that calendar is going to say. So anyway,
We've all done it, Lee, so
yes. Well, I'm sure I'll
Feel better.
do it again at some point. So anyway, hey, thank you for hosting me, Fiscal Court. I think everybody knows BNKY is the Fiscal Court created and authorized economic development company for Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties. I'm going to do two things tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit about the achievements of the last year, which are substantial, and then just a tiny snippet looking forward. So if that's okay, we'll jump into it. Looking at last year, most notably, most people may or may not know there's a separate legal entity called the Northern Kentucky Port Authority. Again, statutorily created. Our organization puts the operational funding into that entity so it can do good work in Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties. And most notably last year, two really transformational projects. The one in KY Center right at the foot of the Roebling Bridge, a project that had been envisioned for this community since the early 80s. And then the Spark House facility, which is the home of entrepreneurship in Blue North for Northern Kentucky, were both delivered last year. In total, mid-$30 million of product development for the community. Some folks may have noticed that already this year in Kenton County, the port has purchased the former C&O Roundhouse building at just south of 12th and Madison and Covington, and really exciting to think about what this 160-year-old former train repair facility can be brought back to life for the benefit of the community. Because of BNKY, last year and this year, we're able to put about $1.5 million in terms of operational funding into the Northern Kentucky Port Authority so they can do this type of work in the community. One of the other things that we've really been focused, and this will be part of the forward-looking piece of the program as well, is really making some key investments in education in our community. We realize that workforce is a critical need for this community, and we've decided to try to address the workforce through the K through 12 system, and we're doing that by funding 3 programs this year. Adopt a Class. Adopt a Class, if you don't know what that is, it's an organization that works with at-risk classrooms. Those are classrooms that have greater than 51% free or reduced lunch. Companies like BNKY and Duke and City and Fidelity and St. Elizabeth adopt a class for a year, and you teach those kids once a month about what the world of work and your organization looks like to hopefully show them and their families what that looks like. And then there's Trades NKY. Trades NKY is a program that started in Campbell County that we're hoping will scale across the Northern Kentucky footprint. As the name says, they are teaching kids starting in middle school about life and career in trades and what quality jobs and careers are available to them. We hope that very soon they'll scale from not just talking about trades career, but also manufacturing and making careers, a program we're excited about. And then last but not least, a program called Navigo, which picks kids up in high school and helps them create unique plans for their interest in their career. So again, really excited to be able to support those programs. I mentioned earlier Blue North and Spark House. We like to work very closely with our partners. So last year we worked with Dave Knox, who you just mentioned, and Spark House to create a study on entrepreneurship and what its impact can and should be for communities like Northern Kentucky. I did a quick piece of math on that, and over fiscal years 24, 25, and 26, we will support Blue North directly through labor, studies, and other types of things to the tune of about $1 million. So we're really excited about what Blue North can bring. As we look forward just a little bit, we just completed a study that helps us refine our work on, it's called Target Industry Study, and it really helps us understand who are the ideal customers that Northern Kentucky can attract for good quality jobs. And when we say, it's a big world out there, and we want to understand who can we attract, who do we have a right to win business with, and what type of companies will work well in our community. That target industry study we presented last month at our annual Economic Development Forum. A couple more rear-facing things, just some results for last year. We always talk about jobs, jobs, jobs. Real fun fact from last year, that 1,914 jobs that you see, and on October 1st of last year, we were at about 110 jobs. We were way behind plan. So it was a crazy fourth quarter for us, closing out almost 1,800 jobs in the quarter. Really excited about the average wage of average compensation, which includes benefits, of $73,000. Again, thinking of quality jobs that you can raise a family or pursue a career with is what we're striving for. And then, again, just real important, people talk about why do we do this work? And I always like to point out, for every 2 jobs you saw on the slide before, 3 other jobs are created in the community for companies that are here. So you think about, you know, the banker and the barber and the car salesman and the, you know, HVAC for the homes and things of that nature. It stimulates and creates the economy in these other businesses. And Judge, just a final note, and I'm happy to answer some questions. As we look to the near future, BNKY is thinking about the next 6 years and kind of looking at it in 2 3-year tranches of time. And the reason we're doing that is we talked today a lot about really scarce resources that communities are dealing with. Workforce is a scarce resource. Land, sites, quality buildings are a scarce resource. Utilities are a scarce resource. We think the next 3 years that we're going to see a lot of turbulence in this space. The peak of the baby boomer retirement will crest in the next 3 years, meaning workforce will get smaller for a while. AI and automation are fully phasing in over the next 3 years, meaning that will put, again, pressure on workforce and the skills that we need. So we're really thinking in this first 3 years of that, how do we absorb this change and then create strategies for what hopefully will be the beginning of a new normal in the 3 years that follow that. And right now the company's just kind of thinking about what are those strategies, what are the workforce programming, where do we invest our resources to adapt to that change. So ran through that pretty quickly, would be happy to answer any questions or listen to comments that the court may have.
I'm kind of curious what you did in the fourth quarter to create 1,800 jobs. What you do differently in that quarter than the other quarters?
You know, it's sometimes it's like a baseball game or a football game. You're not doing anything different in the fourth quarter than you were doing in the first quarter. We actually had really good customer activity all year long. You know, we kind of exist in this bigger ocean, a lot of time driven by geopolitics or changes, and there was just a lot of political uncertainty at the beginning of the year. You know, northern Kentucky, Ohio, and Kentucky have really done well traditionally on FDI investment from Europe. It was a very tumultuous global relationship with Europe that we saw kind of affecting a lot of that. So we really didn't do anything other than just have an opportunity to execute and close deals that hadn't gotten to closing the rest of the year.
Well, it was good to be at the rollout of the targeted industry consultants report the other day, which was added on to this. So if you haven't read that, it's worth it. And just to hear Amy talk about the natural assets that exist in this community, and it made some folks at the end say, well, we're just not, you know, there's an enthusiasm gap, I think, in this community, or we're not prideful enough. And I love, though, what she left us with, that what she thought was most important and unique about this area is that we have trusted leadership, and then when companies come to this community, that they feel safe in engaging with the leaders because they've been here so long, and just that we offer a diverse economy. And I think sometimes we get hung up on comparing ourselves to New York or California, and we need to be more like that. No, we don't. We need to be us. And I hope that we market the things that we do well, and specifically the things that she was saying about just that we're diverse and that we are, you know, welcoming through the trustedness of our community and our leaders. So I thought that was really key and important beyond all the other assets. So
I think to me the key word that you used a couple times there is trust. And it doesn't get talked about a lot. It doesn't get thought about a lot. But I can tell you, that our customers, they can sense that and they can feel that. And if you think about your customer experience, if you went to buy a car and the car salesman was fighting with the sales manager, who then you witnessed was fighting with the maintenance manager, you'd have a really questionable thought about buying a car from that dealership. Is this going to work? Are they going to stand behind it? Our customers can sense that. If we brought a client into a meeting and Judge Knockelman and Judge Moore, you could tell they were at odds with each other, our clients, thank God they're not, they would sense that, and it would be a really negative mark in our ability to do this work. And so when we have a community that has trust inside it and you can see and feel it, our customers can feel it, communities that fight themselves do not win. And it's maybe our, it is one of our best natural assets is that trust.
Do you have a Meg Erfenbeck to tell your story?
We do, and we rely on Meg a lot when we're telling the Kenton County stories as well. We play a team game. So when we publicize Kenton County, we work with Meg, we work with the folks at the city of Covington or Boone County when it's appropriate to tell their story. As a matter of fact, that's one position we'll probably invest in next year because we think storytelling has probably been a little underserved for the community, and we want to be able to tell more stories and better stories inside and outside the community. So we're probably going to add a marketing person next year.
Very good.
Question, if I may.
Sure.
In looking at your pie charts, life sciences always seem to be the thinnest slice of the pie, or usually that. Do you have an explanation for that, or a feel for what's going on there, considering the universities and hospitals here?
Yeah, it's a nascent industry for us. When you think about life science and life science investment nationally, you've seen a lot of big pharma deals, a lot of pharma manufacturing deals, and we haven't had a lot of that in Kentucky. We're chasing that and trying to grow that. We've been fortunate. CTI moving across the river 10 years ago gives us a good anchor. Companies like Gravity give us a good anchor. And then the investment by the Commonwealth a couple of years ago in the Life Science Lab, which is in the Winning KY Center, give us a good anchor. And again, we talk about our right to win these projects. When you compete against an Indiana that has an Eli Lilly sitting there as this just trillion-dollar behemoth, you realize you're kind of pushing uphill on that.
David and Goliath.
Yeah, but we've created the right to win, and we are starting at times to get a bite at the apple on those projects. But it's one when we think about the future of the community and the growth that we want, it's one that we know we want to compete on, even though it's a really small one today.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Lee. Appreciate that very much.
And I'm going to run out. I actually have dinner with a client in Covington, so I'm going to run back down the road and
Closing before the fiscal court next time.
most importantly, thanks to the fiscal court for your all's support of the
I
organization.
asked you the other time you were here if you were going to take your wife to Herb and Thelma's. Did you do it that time?
She has been there, and that is quite a unique place. So she might be a bigger fan. She might be a bigger fan of Governor's House where we ate Saturday night. So,
Very good.
all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have over reporting, Kelly Center. Animal Services.
Thelma's better than I do that Governor.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just a little bit about what's been going on at the shelter so far this year. Our current population is at a total of 73 animals, which is fantastic right now. We have a total of 108 animals in foster, which is also wonderful. We've struggled a little bit with the weather, having a hard time getting people in the door, so our adoptions are down a little bit. We did have a huge win this week with the pig Gary. If you guys didn't hear about him, we had a potbelly pig that was surrendered, and he is now happily living in a farm in Walton, Kentucky. I also want to give out a huge shout out to our medical department. We had a stray dog come in that was pretty significantly down with a septic infection, and they jumped right on it, did an emergency surgery, got this dog back up and running, and we were able to find the family of the dog. So that was a great win as well. Internally, we're really enjoying having our new behavior coordinator. That's been a huge impact on what we do every day. And he and our volunteer coordinator have been working really hard together to get some good volunteer training programs on board, which we've been desperately needing. Later this month, we are launching a post-adoption support program through an organization called Petzl. And this is an attempt to provide resources to adopters after the adoption process to help them acclimate new dogs into their home and also help deal with some of the behavior issues that sometimes shelter dogs have in private homes. And then coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend, the 21st and 22nd, we'll be participating in the Tri-State's largest adoption event. It's called the My Furry Valentine. And we will not be taking animals to the event itself, but we'll be acting as a satellite event and getting a lot of advertisement through them. So that's all I have today.
It's very good. A lot going on, Kelly. Thank you. Mr. Stanton, External Affairs.
Number of items to update you all on this evening, some of which are pretty well publicized, so I'm sure you've read the details. But I think since the last time I reported up here, we had the news about Project Roundhouse, the former Chesapeake and Ohio roundhouse that's in the process of being acquired. The one thing I will note about that deserves to be confirmed and talked about is the fact that it's a partnership between the city of Covington, the county, the Catalytic Fund, and the Port Authority. And it's one of those great projects where partnership makes a difference. I don't think any one of the four entities could have executed on that deal, but it's the partnership of all four of them that makes it happen. Commissioner Sewell represented the county at the kickoff for the St. Vincent de Paul campaign kickoff. For those that haven't kept up with that news, that's a $12 million project in Erlanger. They've already raised $9.5 million towards that project. And when completed, it's going to be an incredible service platform for the central part of the county, delivering a lot of services that area is sometimes overlooked for. Had a number of meetings recently with North Key. If you are not familiar with Danny Amrine taking over as the CEO of North Key, North Key historically has been a relatively low-key organization in the community, even though it has statutory obligations as one of the old CompCare system entities. But Danny's been there for about a year now, and she's really assembling a good team, and I think you're going to see a lot more from her in terms of North Key leadership and behavioral health. Very excited about those developments. Lee talked about some of the targeted industry things. I really want to thank the court for approving the appointments of Chad Summey and Dave Knox. The targeted industries are always worth reminding folks of: advanced manufacturing, life sciences, information technology, and supply chain management. All of which will be infused with AI kind of going forward. But the appointments of folks like Chad Summey and Dave Knox are critical because it's not just doing a report, it's not just identifying the target industries, but it's the work you do after that that makes the difference as a region, and really look forward to the leadership of the two of them. Spark House update: all 35 offices in Spark House are leased. In fact, they have one, possibly two businesses that are already outgrowing their space and that are looking for space outside of Spark House. So it's actually, on that front, has gone quicker than we anticipated. Good problems to have. 23 of the 32 designated desks are also leased. And right now, the current membership at Spark House is 366. So trajectory there is very positive. Still work every day to keep it going. Another thing I would mention, which will occur probably, I think, before I report to you all again, is the Bonded Spirit Bluegrass Festival, which is going to be in the Roebling Point neighborhood and throughout some of the adjoining neighborhoods in Covington. Richard Dickman at Smoke Justice has really kind of spearheaded that, and I think he's got a great brand and a great concept. And so if you're into either bourbon or traditional or bluegrass music, make a note of that for March 3rd through the 7th. It's going to be, I think, a tremendous. And then the other thing, too, is a shout-out for Julie Kirkpatrick and Candace McGraw. Maybe you all might have seen that there is a vacancy at Visit Cincy, and they elected to contract with Meeting KY to bring Julie Kirkpatrick on board to run both organizations for a period of time. And Candace McGraw has come on board as an advisor to the board there to continue to help them during that facilitated transition process. So it's a tremendous vote of confidence in a couple of our Northern Kentucky leaders, both the work that Julie's done with Meeting KY, as well as obviously Candace is continuing her leadership role in the community after her retirement from CVG. So with that, if you got any questions, happy to answer them, and we'll go from there.
Good stuff. Thanks, John. Mr. Stork, Public Works, no snow to move tonight.
Yes, thank you for saying that. Yeah, last month we had one of our largest snow events that we've faced in quite some time. So between our Public Works and Parks employees, we traveled about 13,000 miles clearing roads. It took about 1,600 hours, and we put down about 560 tons of salt. So they worked really hard. Luckily, we were able to split our crews into 12-hour shifts, so we were able to treat continuously, and everyone stayed safe. So big shout out to them. Now, yeah, as the judge said, we're excited to have a little bit of a break now with the warm weather. But with that, I'm sure we'll be getting ready to patch some potholes that are going to reveal themselves. So, Dr. Drought, if you would keep a list for us, we'll be sure to get it. And then next, we had some leftover funds for our household hazardous waste cleanup events. So, we're actually going to we're planning a second one. It's going to be on April 11th, and this one's going to be at Frederick's Landing in Wilder. So it's going to be a shorter event, and not as many materials are going to be accepted. So be sure to check that out online if you have any interest, and get all that information. Are there any questions?
Well, I was at Lakeside Park last night, and they were also, just wanted to say thanks to the crew. Of course, we contract and do that work for Lakeside Park, and one of the cities, and they were, it's one thing to be out in the unincorporated areas moving snow and plowing and salting, but to be in an older subdivision neighborhood is tougher, and they've always done a great job there. Of course, the Crestview Hills, same thing, but knock on wood. I mean, you can't guarantee you're not going to take out a mailbox every now and then, but you guys do a great job.
It's inevitable. Yeah, thanks.
Kurt Greenkamp, Treasurer's Report.
Just need the record to reflect that the financial reports for January 2026 have been submitted.
Good. As always, on time, and if not a little early, County Administrator's Report.
I have nothing.
Are those new glasses?
They are.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
Okay, just
They're cheaters, yes.
County Attorney's Report. None, let's start. Commissioner Drab?
I have a question. I don't know if
Everybody's very nervous when you say that, John.
I suggested last meeting that we write an article about tracing the chronological events that have created such a safe environment in the county, the 3 counties. Has that article started yet, or?
We are actually working with the other counties as well for,
The
we've
data.
talked about a number of things, whether to celebrate the anniversary of the radio system, once the CADs all get in alignment. We already are live with Campbell County. Boone is still working out their arrangement with Tyler. And we have a 3 judges meeting tomorrow morning, which I'm sure will be discussed there as well.
Yeah, I think that would be a great article, really. I think a pretty important thing to
It's huge.
let people know how much safety has been improved in the county because of cooperation of the 3 counties.
Yep, exactly. And savings, quite frankly. But
Yeah, and savings, yeah, right.
Yep. Good point. Any
That's
further
all I have.
comment? Okay, Commissioner Sewell?
I have nothing.
Okay. I don't have anything to report to the court this evening of substance, but, so we don't have a need for an executive session, so we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night. Have a great, safe trip home.